history is sometimes very generous and history is sometimes very unkind. It just is. I remember at one point when I first moved to New York, I was living on the Upper West Side, and I walked past some monument to some fallen hero, and I had no idea who he was, and nobody living in New York who he was. And I just remember standing there, and I went, oh, all these people raised this money. There was a dedication ceremony. People cried, and now there's a bunch of pigeons like shitting on him, and now that's that. And I just remember finding it sort of kind of sad and moving, and so I've just always been obsessed, not always, like since I was 3, I was obsessed with Shuffle Along. No, at one point when I started really getting to know Shuffle Along, all these people, and the more I got inside the research, this show was celebrated. This show was celebrated, was considered this turning point in Broadway, and then very frequently, up until these ads started coming out, a finite number of people knew anything about it. And so I find it interesting. How did something that was so significant end up disregarded? How does something Ziegfeld hired the chorus girls from Shuffle Along to teach his girls how to dance. How did something so monumental end up with as part of a footnote of 1921? Not a part of a footnote of the 20s, a footnote in 1921. And so that's all that followed. What was the discovery process like? What was the sense of celebration and victory? And what happened? What happened to these people? What happened to this show? What happened to all this? There's tons and tons of stories. So that's what really is fascinating to me. What happened?